What's up, class, and welcome to another episode of the No Mod Shop class here on the Skooled Zone. We are finally going to be heading back to Far Harbor as we continue with my Building in Far Harbor series and constructing our rustic seaside hotel. Maybe I should say Fa Haba, as they might actually say in Boston. You gotta love the Boston accents. Anyway, if you notice behind me, the Nixie lights have been reset to 0. That's because this is episode 100 of the No Mod Shop class. 100 episodes. Crazy, right? We've come a long way. Anyway, in a future episode, I'll add a third lamp to the set so we can continue the more accurate count, and I'll show you how it's done in the process, since snapping them together doesn't really get them close together like that. Also, before we jump right in, let's take a quick peek at this month's Wall of Fame. As you know, I feature the names of my amazing Patreon supporters on this here Wall of Fame, and here is the Student Council this month. I very much appreciate your generosity and continued support for the channel. You guys are helping to keep the channel alive, along with everybody else in the audience who watches the videos and gives it a thumbs up and subscribes. But the Patreons, they deserve that little extra shout out because they are helping to pay the bills. Now, I'll leave a link in the description below and the iCard above if anyone else wants to become a member of the Student Council. As you know, there are some fantastic perks in addition to seeing your name on the Wall of Fame. I also run a super fun factoid series on the Patreon page where I write articles about Fallout 4 trivia as it relates to the real world. It's really cool, but if you don't want to leave YouTube and take the time to set up a Patreon account, there's also a join button down below where you can become a member, or a super thanks button if you want to make a one-time donation. Okay, hop on the school bus and I'll meet you over at our hotel construction site. Alright guys, we are back in Far Harbor and it's definitely been a minute. I hope I remember how to do everything. So the last thing that we were working on was the side of the hotel, and I'm still trying to decide how I want that exactly to look. And when you're working on a settlement, there's nothing wrong with leaving parts of it to come back to later so that your brain can kind of percolate ideas in the back of its head subconsciously and come up with some ideas that you might not have thought of if you just try to barrel through on a section. In fact, sometimes I even have dreams about, certain parts of a settlement I'm working on. I mean, not always, very rarely, but, if you guys are avid builders, I'm sure that's probably happened to you too. So what I'm going to do is just leave this section for now, come back to it maybe in another video as we complete different parts of the hotel. And I wanted to go back up to the top and work on another section that I thought could make for an interesting little mini lesson. That is expanding this lobby area and adding some elements that I wanted to incorporate from my museum build, just to kind of show you guys how it was done. So as they enter this front door here, and we're going to make this automated and everything, so they walk up to it and it opens up, then what should happen is they should enter sort of a large lobby area. And I'm thinking about maybe over here having like a check-in desk and stuff, but the lobby should be a nice, large, decorative area where people can sort of meet and lounge. I'm thinking maybe a little bar area a little further out over here. But yeah, this area I think should be nice and wide open, and also the ceiling should be a little high as well before we start adding the floors for the rooms and stuff. So we'll have kind of a 2-story lobby area, and then each floor after that will be 1 story as it houses the various suites. So what I thought would be interesting would be to add some flooring to this, but then also incorporate some of those elements from the lobby area in my museum. All right, so let's get started here. Oh, did you see that? My clear weather shell just fired off and made it a nice sunny day again. It's going to do that on the timer that I set up in the past videos. That's pretty awesome. Okay, so let me go into my build menu and let's start adding some flooring here. If I remember correctly, I was using the warehouse floors. Correct. Okay. So let's add a piece of flooring there, a piece of flooring there, and a piece of flooring here. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to see if I can cover that thing Yeah, it won't. Oh, it will let me add it over it. Okay, so if I wanted to cover that fog condenser, I believe that's what it's called, I could. But it might be interesting to leave it and use it as a light element. So let me see if I can do what I wanted to do here. Okay. So we've got this hole in the middle now, and it goes down to the ground. Let me see if I can add a flooring block down underneath it, okay? Okay, so after some tinkering, I figured out a fairly routine way to do this. Let me show you what I did. Okay, so I just went up to a wall section, added a wall section there, came back to the warehouse floors, and now I'm able to add that floor piece down there, and then you could just store that wall piece, okay? So let's see if it'll let me add the rest of the floors. They should just lock into place. If not, I can keep doing that idea with the walls. Okay, so let's try it again. Maybe bumping up against something that is not going to let us do it, but let's try. Okay, there we go. I need to sneak. Let's go back into. Okay, usually lets me snap it into place. It's not gonna do that this time. Okay, so let's move this over to here. There we go. That snaps into place. Come on, come on. All right, I could just put it there, but I want it to actually snap. So let's grab this piece, move it to here, try it again. See, there we go. Idiot savant. I'm gonna store these beds for now. This is what I use to make it morning again. Perfect. Okay, and then while we're at it, I'm just going to go ahead and add the rest of the foundation here. Might as well. There might be an easier way to do this, but it's been a while. So now that we have that foundation built, let's head back over here. And the only part, let's see. Yeah, let's go ahead and try to add this in as well. Perfect. Okay, so what we should be left with is a hole in the middle here. And it would have been nice if I could have... well, you know what? Before I give up, let me just check something out here. Okay, now it's still going to give me trouble. Okay, so let me get to what I wanted to do, and then let's see if we can figure out how to do it, because I always believe where there's a will, there's a way. So if you remember in my museum build, I had a section of the atrium area where I had little railings surrounding some bushes, and it looked really nice. I'll put a quick screenshot up on the screen for you so you can see it. But what it basically consisted of was me planting some trees on a garden plot on the level below the floor blocks, and then that way the tops of the trees looked like they were bushes surrounded by a railing. So in this case, since I can't seem to place a block down there, I'm going to try one more time. Yeah, I'm trying to sink it down and it just won't let me do it. So what we'll have to do instead is jimmy a garden plot down in there, and that way we can supersede it. And the reason that I thought it might be interesting to do it around this fog condenser is because there would be some lighting coming from within the bushes, and it would also cover up the fog condenser as well. All right, and if we can't do that, then something like a fountain might be interesting as well, because we would still get that sort of eerie little glow, that sort of vacuuming type lighting effect that's coming in. So either way, we're going to do something interesting with it. But let's see if we can do my idea first and see if it works. So I'm going to make this part as quick and painless as possible, probably do a lot of little cuts just to save us some time and give you the gist of how to do this. And then we'll move on to the second element that I wanted to cover for this video. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is set down a garden plot. I'm going to add the mute fruit trees to it and then grab a post. Then I'm going to group select the entire platform of trees, and let's see if we can get it to fit in there the way I want it to without a conduit. Nope, it looks like I'm going to have to use a conduit. So the conduit just kind of gets the post a little bit out of the way so it's not interfering with the selected objects that you want to sink into place. We know that the post can sink into the concrete slabs, and if I can get the conduit at just the right level, then we can sink the post into the concrete slabs and have the garden plot with the mute fruit trees sink down to the exact level that we want to create this illusion of bushes that are illuminated by an interesting lighting fixture that comes with the settlement. Okay, so looks like the conduit worked. Now I'm just going to add the railings and we should be good to go. All right, fantastic. It worked. Okay. All right, I'm very happy with the way that looks. It's really pretty cool the way that the leaves are kind of sticking out through the railing. That's the exact effect that I was going for. And we're not going to really be able to see down into the gap there and see that, you know, it extends further down below. Really what we're doing is just sort of creating an illusion here. Okay, well that worked out just as expected. Okay, so now that we have all that taken care of here, the next thing I want to do, and I might add some more potted plants in there as well, just cover up the dirt like I did in my museum build, but we'll get to that in a minute. I don't want to micromanage the episode too much because I want to get on to the next thing I wanted to do, which was to add a lower level. So we can start descending downwards and create some verticality to the place because we've got a lot of extra room here. So I'm thinking maybe like here and maybe over here as well. We can start creating some elements that move in a downward direction, okay? So let me start by going back into build mode. Go to warehouse, go to floors, and let's tack on a piece right here and a piece right. Oh, I'm not able to. Oh, there we go. So finicky sometimes. Okay, and then what I wanted to do here was add some kind of ramp or stairs or a downward slope. Let's see what we've got available. I'm thinking it might be kind of interesting to make this into a ramp. Is that possible? Probably not. Got a little too ambitious there. I know we've got ramps in the Vault-Tec warehouse, so let's default to that, and I can always change it out for something else. I just have to remember where. Here we go. Yeah, something like this. Okay. Let's see if it'll let me add it in with that. There we go. It did. Come. Oh boy. Okay, that was unfortunate. Okay. I'll run back up and cut all this part out. Okay, we're back. So I wanted to add a ramp. And let's see if I can fit it in at this angle or if I have to go sideways with it. Let's try not to fall off again. I saw it snap a second ago. Come on, don't give me trouble now. There we go. Oh, I almost had it. So finicky. So this is why you don't want to give up very quickly, because it is possible with a little bit of determination. Okay. So finicky. All right. So we've got a ramp that's going downwards now, and I can keep going downwards, or we can just create a level at this point. But I just wanted to show you that that's one of the things we're going to do. I'm going to get rid of all those crops down there. That guy just wandering around the settlement. So he's like, are you building new crops, or do I keep farming this area? We're going to get rid of all this and make it into, you know, a nice little lounge area, maybe a spa, things like that. But I wanted to start moving down in this direction. These stairs are just so I can get up and down from ground level. They're not going to stay. So let's go back up into this part and add that. Perfect. And then we're going to go back into the warehouse section. Add that and come on now. Perfect. Okay, so you kind of get the direction this is going. We're gonna have this ramp move down to another section. I might even get rid of this warehouse floor and maybe try to move it downwards, or maybe we can incorporate it into some kind of bar area. Nope, I don't want to get rid of that. But that gives you the general idea. So I'm just gonna keep adding some. Huh, wonder why it won't let me add. There must be something down there. I don't want to fall off, but. Interesting. Oh, did you see that? Okay, I don't know why it does that. Now, some of these trees I'm going to leave like that because they can make interesting accents. You know, we could have some kind of window here or something, but I don't want to get rid of the trees all at once, because once you get rid of them, you can't put them back. So if I do need to get rid of this tree because I don't like where it is, then I will. But I do sometimes like to leave a lot of the natural settlement elements in place and kind of work around them in sort of an organic way so that we can incorporate interesting items that aren't part of our normal build menu. So let's go ahead and add that there. Okay, there's probably something. No, I don't see anything in there. It's just going to be finicky. There we go. Sometimes when you just rotate the object just slightly, I mean, as if there's any difference, it'll sometimes put, see, I don't know what the difference is between this side and this side, but somehow it does make a difference. See, it's just so strange, so strange. Okay, so it's getting on to nighttime, so I'm gonna probably wrap the episode here, but you can kind of start to get a really good idea of where this is going. We've got a nice large lobby area now that is going to be heading downwards in one direction towards maybe on this side, maybe towards a spa. I was trying to think of an interesting way I could build a pool, but we don't have water. Water's got to come from, at least without mods, water's got to come from, oh look, there's the caravan guy. Water's got to come from the natural elements of a settlement unless you're using mods. And then this area, I'm going to probably work down towards some kind of, I don't know. I really want to work in that stone area into the build as well. So maybe we could build a cool little bar that's going to have like a rocky background to it, some kind, maybe build the shelves into the rocks. I've seen those kind of cave type bars in architectural magazines and stuff. And then this area, of course, is going to lead down to the beach. We're going to have some nice views, the boardwalk and everything like that. And then, of course, upwards towards the sky are going to be all of the rooms and the suites and things like that. So anyway, whenever you're building a settlement from scratch, it's not an overnight thing. It takes a lot of time, a lot of planning, a lot of steps, and a lot of forethought. So I don't usually rush the settlements. And also, there's nothing wrong with building multiple settlements simultaneously. Like if I get stuck on one area in one settlement, I might go back to a previous settlement I was working on where some new ideas have come to mind, and I'll start to work on that a little bit. And eventually they all get done. They just, for me at least, they get done a little slower because that's the way I work. For me, it's more about quality than quantity. I'm not trying to crank out all my settlements at once. Sometimes some of them require a little more TLC. So anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying the new Fallout 4 update. As soon as I installed it, a whole bunch of new quests pop up. I haven't even touched those yet. I don't know if they're related to the main quest or if they're just bonus material or if they're even worth pursuing. You guys can leave a comment down below. Anyway, the very next video though, I am going to do something very special to celebrate the 100th episode of the No Mod Chop class, something, a little side project I've been working on, and it's musical in nature. I'll just give you that much of a hint. It's going to be so much fun. I'm looking forward to editing that. I'm just putting some finishing touches on that, so hopefully that'll be out very soon, just as a little kind of bonus video and a celebration for this being the 100th episode of the No Mod Chop class. Once again, I want to thank my Patreon supporters for all your help ever since the Fallout show has come out and the new Fallout 4 update, even for last gen consoles. Like, I'm still playing Fallout 4 here on my Xbox One, even though I have an Xbox X. So it's nice to see that Bethesda, gave a little shout out to people that still have older consoles. But anyway, the channel has seen a huge resurgence. I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers as well as all my old subscribers. It's been a lot of fun to see the numbers kind of spontaneously get a nice little bump, a little boost. So I plan to continue as I have been, and as I've said before, I even knew that the Fallout show was coming out, that we're going back to Fallout 4 after, my disinterest in Starfield. Fallout 4 is just one of those games I will always keep coming back to, primarily because of the never-ending building element of this. It's just stimulates your imagination, and I'll leave it at that. So thanks again, guys. I really appreciate it. Until next time, happy building, and class is dismissed.